Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of New Strength Sugar Babes. And we've got the lovely Lou from Canberra, and I just have to say it, but her husband is the head of the Air Force. Is it the head of the Air Force? Hey, the Australian Air Force. Yeah. I was telling Craig about it. He's like, oh, that's so cool. Like, and I was telling him how I was it like Top Gun? You know, like, did you meet he's like, you're an idiot, Kitty. You.
It is a bit like that sometimes.
Yeah. Thanks, I'm like, you're the first lady of the first lady of, you know. Anyway, Lou's got one child. She's 52. She's been in the program coming up 7 months now. And I'll just let you tell the viewers, a bit about your background and, why you joined the program.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so as we were talking about this morning, Kitty, I've been plagued, I suppose, by eating disorders and low self-esteem and associated things since I was probably 21. So at 52, that's more than half my adult life. And I think actually half my life. I just got seriously tired of being on that merry-go-round of diets and health and fitness programs, as they call them, like Michelle Bridges and things like that. I reckon I've tried pretty much every single one, and I felt like I was on a constant cycle of doing that throughout my whole grown-up life from 20, 21, early 20s. So I guess I just finally came to a place where I was just looking for something that gave me stability, where I could actually be just happy with me and happy in my life. Yeah, it's really that simple, I think. But yeah, it's been a lot of years to come to this point.
Yeah, it's crazy. We talked about it before, just constantly thinking about food.
Yeah, yeah. It rules your life. It rules every waking thought, and you can't seem to escape it either. And it's limiting. It limits you in how you see yourself, how you see others, and just how you relate to society. Actually, that's how I found it, and I was starting to withdraw. So, especially, it wasn't good for me either.
Yeah, I remember sometimes I wouldn't go to things because I was dieting, and I just couldn't go because I was, either felt shitty because I'd been binging, or I was like, oh, I have to be strict, so I can't go. I can't go to this, whatever it was.
Yeah, because there's never any in between. There's no middle ground, and it really does your head in. And I think I developed a fear of food. Actually, I think it became the enemy, and that I've done almost a 360 in that regard in my thinking, and it's just so powerful to be released from that kind of thought cycle.
Yeah, I feel like that way too. Like, it's freeing. It's like it frees you, and you don't really understand until you do it, because you're just so brainwashed by the fitness industry to think that sugar and dairy and carbs and all those things are so bad for you.
That is so true. Milk, I remember Mum saying, you shouldn't eat that full cream stuff, Louise. You should be on skim milk, and I tried to do that because there's actually no milk in skim milk, and it's the most disgusting stuff. And now I was just telling my friend the other day, I drink probably about 700 mils of A2 light milk a day. And my stomach could never tolerate it, and neither could my brain. But love it. I look forward to that chocolate milk part of the day. Yeah.
It's, I feel like it seems actually quite simple now. Like, after you've done, you're in the program, you start to understand human physiology and the body and how everything works. You're like, fuck, this makes so much sense. I can't believe I was like, the rest, it just seems so normal.
It does. It becomes more and more normal. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And just that, even just the mood side of it, how food can improve your mood and your outlook. And I'm stunned with that. Yeah, I must have been horrible before.
Well, you know what it is? It's like, it just comes back to your blood sugar isn't balanced and your stress hormones are elevated. So when your adrenaline and cortisol is high, you want to fucking rip someone's head off. You're angry all the time. You're not sleeping. Yeah. So as soon as that goes down and you balance your blood sugar, you just feel so much better.
But you've got to understand how that process works, though, too, because until you start understanding it, that's just words. Food is still the driver for everything, and you're not really thinking about hormones and stress and cortisol at all. You're just thinking about how food runs your life. And once you actually start understanding, like you say, the physiology and how it actually physically affects you, that's when you start to make the shift, I think.
Oh, totally. And you get the power back because you've educated.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about then, what are some of the results that you've seen since being in the program, like physical and mental, objective, subjective?
Yeah. Yeah. The physical side of it hasn't been as easy a journey because, for me, all my life, lean is mean, thin is in. That still rings in my brain all the time. It's so entrenched deeply in my mind that inner voice still has a voice sometimes. So I'm still on that journey of accepting my body and the changes. But having said that, a lot of that I think is how I think I might be seen, because when I look at my body, I actually feel quite happy about that, even though it's definitely bigger and changed shape than what I'm used to. So from the waist up, 100% happy. I'd be happy if I lost a little bit of my boobs, to be honest. So that's a whole nother story. And I know there's going to be women out there going, oh my God, why are you saying that? Oh, I've always liked that lean, boyish sort of figure. So yeah, my boobs bigger than I'd like. But to look at my upper body, I'm really happy. Lower body, it's taking a bit of time, because there's no denying I'm super strong and steady in my legs, but my bum and my hip width has gone up centimetres. And as I was saying earlier, I've grown out of all my clothes. But side on and in clothes, I really like that look. That bum left peach thing that the girls talk about. So I can appreciate that. So just purely on looking at myself in the mirror, I'm pretty happy with what I see, actually. And the strength side of it, that's completely empowering. I love that. I love the little 1% every time I train. The food side, though, is the absolute winner for me. The winning at life is just being released, getting out from underneath the control, that rigid control I have always had or thought I had over my food intake, what I ate, how much, and food being what controls my weight. It was all about food. So the biggest change for me is how I feel about my food, and that it is medicine, it is nutrition, it's not the evil thing I always thought it was. And yeah, just my mindset too, Kitty. I think that's probably the third part of the whole thing, is how I see myself and how proud I am at the choices I'm making and what I'm actually doing to live a better life. I think that's incredible. Sometimes I sit back and still feel quite incredulous that I'm even thinking like that. And it's a constant thing. I mean, you always have to stay on. You have to be thinking about it. But the weekend I just had away, I made decisions, to have a drink. We're having a celebration and I didn't eat, not that badly, but not that well. But I felt in control of that. I was making those decisions and I was happy with them. And I didn't beat myself up the next morning for it. I just got back on the trail. So for me, they are massive improvements off the scale, actually, for me. Yeah.
Oh, I feel the same way. I think, and so many women too, like the extremists, like I think when you realize too that you can eat food that you enjoy every single day that tastes nice and satisfies you. You can go to events and go, oh, I'm just going to pick the best thing there that's tasty. And I know that mashed potato isn't bad for me. Like I know that it's okay to eat mashed potato with butter and steak, and I might have 1 to 2 drinks, but I don't have to get shit-faced anymore, and I don't have to binge and eat everything in sight, because tomorrow I'll be doing some crazy-ass diet to try and, and in my head I used to say to myself, this is the last time I'm ever going to eat this. I'd tell myself that. I'd be like, I'm just going to keep eating until I feel sick, and I'm never going to do it again. That's what I'd say.
It's kind of like permission. And you absolutely just said what was in my mind then before. It's kind of like a trade-off. You do it one day and you think, I'll sort that out tomorrow. Whereas now there's no trade-off. I just think today's today and tomorrow is another day. So, once tomorrow comes, yesterday's gone, and just move on. And that is remarkable. I don't even know how I got there. It must be watching all your mindset stuff and also reading about the sheer number of women out there that feel the same way, that have been through the same struggles, that affinity for other women that are going through it as well. you know, in
Mm.
on your own. In fact,
Mm.
so many.
Oh.
How there's so many of us.
Well, I think there's just so, like, because it's the typical diet industry, you know, and like they cut the calories. And in my head too, I was like so afraid to be hungry. Like, so I just binge. And like now it's like, oh, it's okay, kitty, just eat until you're full, because the next time that you're hungry, you can just eat the food rather than thinking, oh, fuck, I've got to be hungry. And then I'd have that cheat meal on the weekend where I'd stuff my face, you know?
Yeah, but, you know, then you've got programs like, am I allowed to mention programs by name? Or
Of
is
course,
that
go for it. You can interview.
Yeah, Michelle Bridges, like I was on the weight loss program, so 1,200 calories a day. And I almost got to the point where to be hungry was a badge of honor. You know, I'm winning. I'm winning because I'm losing weight, I'm sticking to this program, and I'm hungry all the time. And man, it was a hard time of my life. And I remember not coping really well with all the other pressures. But I don't think I could understand why that was, because I thought, you know, clearly I'm winning at life and I'm lean and I'm hungry and I'm not really enjoying. Oh, I don't know. It's really screwy, isn't it?
Oh, it's
screwy.
Yeah.
I feel
And then
like
you don't sleep.
I'm looking in, you know,
Yeah.
at someone that did that before and thinking, wow, why would you do that?
Can you ever imagine eating 1,200 calories again?
No, not really. Not now that I'm on 2,000, and some days I'm still hungry, like after legs and things like that. So no, I cannot. But I think, you know, intensity of how you train and what you're doing, that all sort of is part of that as well. So yeah, I don't know. I prefer. Actually, I was going to say I prefer not to think about the days gone by, but I think it's healthy to think about it, because then it gives you perspective on
Totally.
how you've come.
Yeah, I just don't think I could ever be super lean again, like any leaner than I am now. Because if I wanted to be leaner than I am now, I'd have to eat less. And like, I can't eat less than this. I just can't.
Do you ever have thoughts that drag you back there? You know,
Yeah.
back to lean?
Yeah, I look at like, and you know what the really interesting thing is, like, since I got those professional photos done, because we did some for the website, and because usually I'd probably sit like maybe here a few percent higher, but that's probably I can maintain this without being, you know, really restrictive or like eating very little. But like, it's interesting, like the leaner I've gotten, because I pushed my calories right up for a point a few months where I was doing this like heavy powerlifting.
Yeah, I remember eating.
Yeah, but I put them too much. I was eating like 3,000 calories a day, which was just too much, you know, like, so I put on muscle, but I put in a bit of body fat too. And, you know, just I dropped my calories back, you know, to like 2,200, just was consistent of that. Still ate more sometimes if I was really hungry, but I've lost all the body fat now. But like when I got leaner, like I'd start noticing myself like looking more at fitness models and just comparing myself more. Even though I'm looking better than I was, and going, oh, because I'm not lean like a normal fitness model. Like they're all super lean. Yeah. And I still compare myself to them, going like, and in my head thinking, oh, fuck, I need to be leaner. Like I need to be, like, they're so beautiful. And it's like, isn't that fucked up? Like, isn't that just a, like...
I could nod, but the inside voice is going, no, I get that.
But in my head, I know that it's wrong. Yeah. And I say that, like, I can catch myself and I sit, and it's, if someone could hear me speaking to myself, I'm like, Kitty, shut up. Like, this is ridiculous. You know what it takes to be like that. And are you willing to sacrifice your sleep, your mood, your energy to look like that? And I'm just not willing to.
I think it's normal that you go through a constant state of resetting your thought process, you know. I think it's just human nature, isn't it?
Totally. And I think it's like trying to educate women. Like, it's like, I feel like there's a real fine balance between, like, you know, we talked about this, looking how you want to look, but then there's the extreme. Like there's that fine, sometimes you're walking that fine line between being obsessed with how you look versus just being happy and healthy and eating and training and feeling good in your skin, you know, like it's, and I think because of the fitness industry, there's like, there's so many of these models. They're so beautiful. Like I look at them and I look and think, oh, you're so beautiful, you know. And that's, you know, I always try and compliment other women, but then looking how lean they are, and I know what it takes to get to that, and I'm like, I just can't do it. Like I'd be miserable.
And what they'd have to do to maintain that, if it was even remotely maintainable. I mean, you can't do it for a long time, can you?
No, well, some of them too, like they're younger, less stress, I think too, and like they might be happy with less sleep. They might be happy with having less energy. Like, you know, we're running a big business and I can't cope. I can't get up every day and energize. And it's also too not practicing what I'm preaching.
Yeah, absolutely. And guaranteed they don't have young children.
Yeah, well, I don't have young children either. Yeah, but I think as you get older as well, like I'm nearly 40, like you need sleep.
Yeah. Well, again, you sort of underestimate sleep. When you get super, super busy, there's two things that sort of go by the wayside. It's either your nutrition or your sleep. You cut into your sleep. And really the two things you probably should protect, you know, as much as you can. So, yeah, my sleep has been a bit patchy the last couple of days, but it's just worry and an active mind, I think. Stuff going, you know?
Yeah. And if you're under eating, that just amplifies that. Yeah. So, like, you can cope much better with stress, day-to-day stress, when you're eating more.
I wonder how many women out there have your voice in their head when they go to sleep, Kitty, when they're feeling a bit hungry. You know, just eat. You probably need more food, because I know I just can't go to sleep hungry anymore.
Same.
Wait, I
can't sleep.
No, it's awful. No. Yeah, you just feel like crap.
Some nights I'll get up, like if I go to bed and I think, like I'm like, my mind's racing about work stuff, I'll go downstairs, have a glass of juice and like orange juice and gelatin and salt, and then I'll have that and I'll put my red light on and try and calm my mind, and then I'll fall asleep, you know, because I think as soon as I feel empty stomach,
it's juice and Baby Bell for me.
Yeah,
that's my go-to in the middle of the night, trying to get that little red foil off the Baby Bell.
I just feel like being super lean, it's just not worth it.
No. And what are you striving for? I think that's one of the biggest questions I had to ask myself. What exactly is it that you're striving for? At what point will you actually be completely happy in the mind and the body? And it was when I couldn't really answer that anymore that I had to just be truly honest and say, okay, maybe you're going to have to make a change here. You can't keep going like this. And, you know, as we talked about earlier, my lifestyle is pretty unforgiving at some time, you know, at some points. And I knew I just had to build resilience into my lifestyle and discipline. And that's what this program has really given me, the ability to make those decisions and be happy about them. And supported.
Oh, it's so good. And you mentioned that your husband has noticed some changes in you, like your skin and your eyes and
just general health. From definitely eyes. We were talking about when you look at yourself, what screams health to you. For him it's my skin glowing and smiling all the time, because I am a bit of a smiler, but eyes clear and white and bright. So definitely that. And my hair. I like those things. Probably think the body's okay too. I don't know. Like I said, he's still getting his head around the whole bum thing, but it's just a shift.
Oh, we love big butts in the program. I love how everyone posts their butt photos.
Big butts and big legs. So it's going to take me a little while. I'm working on it. It's all about strength and health, isn't it? You know, because just as you get older, you know, I'm 52, the importance of stability through the hips and glutes. You know, I've seen too many people hobbling around that are not much older, some younger than me, that just don't have that stability down the back of their legs and their hips. And I just think, wow, you know, when I retire, which is not that far off, we'll retire about 3.5 years, I think. I want to be fit and able. I want to be able to go hiking, and I want to be able to travel without, you know, feeling like we just need to sit around and have one of those holidays where you just sit around and read, you know, like grey nomads. We're both super active, and I want to be able to enjoy that.
Totally.
Longevity, the long game.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? Eat good food and strengthen your body. Strengthen your body. Now, some of the reservations that women have when thinking about joining, because obviously, you know, you probably might have had some of these same ones. They're worried that, I don't know how this is going to work for me. Like, it's so left field, Kitty. Like, you know, all this nutrition that you're prescribing is just against everything that the fitness industry prescribes, and you're telling us to strength train and not flog ourselves with hours of cardio. If a woman was like, I'm just not sure if this is going to work for me, what would you say to that?
Okay. What I would say is, I had those thoughts, exactly those thoughts. And I had lots of years of that brainwashing to sort of try and counteract. But it's all about, well, actually, when I started, all the information is quite overwhelming. So there's a lot to take in, even just working through the modules. And like you say, it all is often just completely opposite to what you've done before. So all the information was overwhelming. And it wasn't probably until I really started working through the food side of things and started measuring subjective, looking at the subjective, what do you call it? The
subjective and objective measures of metabolism.
Measures, yeah. So actually putting my faith in the program and you and all the other women. So I read all the comments out there from women and educate myself that way, but just putting my faith in the program and giving it a go. I gave myself 3 months once I really started to adopt the principles of the nutrition and looking at the subjective measures. So I think that was probably the biggest turning point for me, was actually seeing that nothing really bad happened when I had a glass of orange juice or I put sugar in my coffee and started taking new gel and Progest-E. I really came on board at month 4 with the Progest-E. It took 4 months for me to really see improvements there. But yeah, initially extremely overwhelming, but put your faith in the program, put your faith in the studies. Like, you know, people have done this before you. And so just give it a go. Just give it a go and look at your subjective measures. Just see how it affects you first. Yeah.
And the second thing is they're worried about doing it online. You know, how on earth am I going to learn how to lift online, Kitty? And what's the support going to be like? I'm really worried I'm not going to get supported. You know, what would you say to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose I could understand that for someone who was just starting out that hasn't actually done weightlifting before, because I had a fairly solid basis of weightlifting, being the Defence Force. Not necessarily the right way, I've learned. I probably had to unlearn some bad habits or things that were just already ingrained in me. And when you think you're doing it right for 10 years, it is hard to sort of turn that around a little bit. But I was trained by really, really good trainers. But, you know, I have pored over the videos for a start of the examples of every single exercise just to make sure that I was doing it correctly. And just this concept of feedback, actually being able to submit your videos online and have someone objectively look at them and give you feedback is that it's an amazing program. And I actually think you get more support and more detailed feedback than you would probably get in any gym from any personal trainer. I think someone is watching you more closely by video because you probably stop replaying, pausing, looking at certain things. So I don't know. For me personally, I prefer the online side of things because I want that privacy to do things in my own time and in my own home with the privacy of that. So I can understand when you're starting out that it might seem a little bit daunting. But what I would just say is that you're paying for a program that provides so much coaching in so many different forms. It's not just the videos and the feedback. It's actually face-to-face video calls where you can just talk about your concerns. So use the whole gamut of what's available on the program in that sense. Yeah. I think it's an awesome way to learn because you can do it in your own time.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, just do it at your own pace.
Yeah.
And finally, money. You know, women are worried about investing this sort of money in their health and their body. Has it been worth it?
Initially, I was concerned about that. I thought it was a lot of money. And I remember my on-board call where we talked about it. And I remember she said to me, but just look at what you get. And that didn't really mean that much to me at that time because I didn't really know what that meant. So again, in my own time, I've started to experience and see all the resources that come as part of this program. And I just can't believe what's available if you want to use it, if you want to actually take advantage of it. So yeah, the money, it is a big commitment. It is a big commitment. But what it came down to for me is that if it sorry.
It's okay.
If it worked for me, if it actually transformed my life and my thinking, which had been so debilitating to date, then I couldn't put a price on that. I couldn't say what it's not a lot of money for that outcome. I don't know how to put it any better than that. It is so worth it, and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
But you won't realize that straight away. Once you start feeling the benefits, and once your life starts changing for the better, that's when you'll see the worth in the money. And that's when you'll probably start utilizing the resources even more and more as you become more confident, as you become, as you have more faith in the program, you'll start using the resources more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And finally, if a woman was sitting on the fence, what would you say to her?
Oh, look, just jump. Just don't stay in the middle. From a woman that sat on the fence for many, many years, just get off that fence and go, come to this side, because it's just give it a go. You haven't got anything to lose and so much to gain. I just can't tell you how much you have to gain. You just, give it a go. Let the experience and the changes speak for themselves.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thanks for letting us reschedule, because we talked for an hour initially.
Thanks, Kitty. Can I ask a question for you? Is it live, or is this something that you post? Okay, can you edit?
Yeah. Do you want me to edit out?
Only when we started speaking, before I actually went to record, I should have asked you, can we not mention that?
That your husband's the Air Force. Oh, shit, sorry. Okay.
I tried to play it down, only because I don't talk about it on this forum, because
no worries.
I just don't want to be associated with that here. Do you know
what I
mean?
That's fine.
One of the girls, and
you don't want to be the first lady. So what we'll do then is we'll go back, because we'll have to cut this bit out, and I'll just start it from, so if you're sitting on the fence, because then he can just watch this and cut this bit out. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
because I'll have to, okay, so you ready? And finally, if a woman was sitting on the fence, what advice would you give to her?
Right, what advice? Okay, so take it from a woman that was sitting on the fence for many, many years of her life. Just get off, take the leap and give it a go, and just let the results speak for themselves. Just try it. Give yourself a chance, to live a better life.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for taking the time out. And if you're a woman and you're watching this, the next step is, if you want to explore it further, click on the link below. You can book in a free coaching call with one of my coaches, and we can see if we can actually help you and you're a good fit for the program. So thanks again, Lou, and I'll see you in the program.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kitty.
Bye.
Great to meet you.
You too. Bye.